Well then, good evening. It's Friday night, and I'm going to spend about 15 minutes kind of get into the nooks and crannies of this situation. So Roger Kohler is buck his head out again for the third time, entertaining these trolls. Now, Roger Kohler was a brief co-host of mine for a brief interlude, for a brief time during 2020. Maybe 2019 or 2020. Roger Kohler was a person that I met through some acquaintances that I know. And Roger Kohler, through some acquaintances that I know, he did some comical routines and comical stuff and seemed kind of, had some gifts, had some talent and whatnot within him. And I gave him the opportunity to appear and come on as a co-host of my show. Now, so in that we'll call it 12 months, you were a part of it, and I don't know, I knew you had something wrong with you. I knew you had a few screws and a few neurons that were loose in your brain, but I'm not really sure. But you went ahead and decided in your infinite wisdom that it was probably that you wanted to talk to the trolls, or you wanted to do a skit pertaining to the trolls. And I told you no. And then you asked again about maybe doing it again. And I said no. So, whatever you think and thought about me and about my personal hygiene, let me say to you that what you smell was your upper lip. What you smell was your little nana, your little ding-ding. That's what you smell. You have a peculiar way about you. What you smell is the crevices in between your crack, and what you smell is your upper lip. Okay? I give you an opportunity. I give you the tools and helped you to come on the show, helped you out, listen to your hard luck story and whatnot, and to get paid back by compromising my book. Well, let's back up a little bit. You and I did shows, and we did a few shows together, and you decided to go ahead and you decided to go ahead and compromise my book. Now, you knew my computer was down, and you knew I was using your computer, and I asked you repeatedly, did you erase this stuff off your computer? And you kept saying, oh yeah, it's gone. Because at the time I was using your computer and my computer was down, I was writing the book and I was trying to tie some loose ends of the book. And I asked you again, did you erase it off your computer? And you said, yeah, I'm going to. Well, I didn't think nothing of that. But the bottom line is, long story short, you go ahead and compromise my book to those trolls because they went ahead and put your face, called you a child molester, and a picture of your face on your downstairs mailbox of your apartment complex. Now, and you got all petrified and terrified, and they rattled your cage, and from then, you felt like, well, let's throw George under the bus. And that's pretty much what you did. You didn't want to shake the apple cart. You didn't want to hold true to your guns when you knew that I was a good guy. You knew I was a decent person, a good guy, and a decent person. But yet, they rattled the apple cart, and they focused on you, and they rattled you up so bad, made you scared, and you went ahead scared shitless, and you go ahead and threw me under the bus and gave them my book. You gave them the manuscript to my book. The minute you did that was the minute that you were dead. And you ain't no coming back from that. You were dead to me. And there ain't no coming back from that one. Now, talk about the money that you lent. Yes, I had every intentions of paying you back that measly $150 that you loaned me. Was my idea of going to get a notary. I was going to pay you back that $150. But when you showed your ass and did what you did, that was compensation for what you did and what the hell you put me through. What you did was compensation to me for the hell that you put me through and court costs that I've already spent to start the case. And the only reason why that case and why it wasn't processed, because I had the wrong apartment number. Okay? I had the wrong apartment number. So, Roger, all that being said, I can always go back and I can go ahead and start that case. There's no stipulation. There's no statute of stipulation. You compromised my book. You cost me possible money that I could have made off that book by giving those people my book. Now, granted, I've made money off that book and I'm still making money off that book, but you cost me a potential amount of money that I could have made off that book by compromising my book and giving it to them. So for that, I have zero sympathy for whatever happens to you. Zero sympathy. Now, you were so desperate of winning their approval. Oh, I want to be a part of the goons. Oh, I want to be a part of the trolls. What should I do? How should I act? You remind me so much of a character about a few years ago by the name of Jeremy Warren, Piss 4400. And that guy was a shut-in that lived with his mother. Okay? Now, don't have as bad as Jeremy Warren, but you remind me of Jeremy Warren, the pitiful, pathetic person that you are, that you truly are. How do I get to win the approval of the trolls? I have to troll George? Oh, I gotta troll George. I have to win their approval, so I must do that. Hoo, you like me? Why don't you like me? Now listen. I can't stand Sean Brennan. We all know that. I can't stand Sean Brennan, and I most certainly cannot stand Will Marklin. But both Sean Brennan, my nemesis, or the garbage that they are, and Will Marklin, the wannabe actor that rubbed his dong with Bill Nummie, okay, rubbed his little 2-inch dong with Bill Nummie, even said to you, even called you out on your avatar, a picture of a little kid on your avatar, and you still want to win their affection. They pretty much roasted you, well, not even roasted you, they pretty much called you out to be a child molester with that picture of that girl on your avatar. And you had to do some quick explaining on there. And don't you know that I'm not a part of Discord? I wouldn't spend my time a part of Discord. But I've got someone out there that is my eyes and ears that goes on Discord and sees everything and knows exactly what you're doing. And I find it hilarious that they booted you off of that. I find it extremely hilarious that they booted you off of Discord. And now you're trying to save face and you're trying to make it good. And you figure, well, if I do this, if I'm a good little boy and I attack George the way they want me to, ooh, maybe they'll accept me in part of their goondom. Maybe they'll accept me for being a part of their goondom, and maybe I can get in rubbing goondoms with my little goon with them. Roger, you are a pathetic individual. You are a weak, pathetic piece of shit. All right? And whatever respect that I had for you went out the door the day you compromised my book. And you say my book is garbage. Let me tell you something. You're garbage. My book is garbage. Roger Kohler, you're garbage. Okay? And I would strongly advise you to move along. Move along, as they would say. Get a moving. These people are not your friends. I feel like I'm reliving 2016 by telling Jeremy Warren the same thing. He wanted the attention just like you did. He wanted the attention. He craved it just like you did. And he got burned for it. And when they burn you, don't come crawling back to me, because I've already wiped my hands from you. You're a good, I see potential. I saw potential within you, but you're a backstabbing son of a bitch. You're also a liar. And what you smell is your upper lip. What you smell is the crevices on your ass crack. And what you smell a piece of Kohler. And what you smell is the egg yolks sticking to your frying pan in your kitchen. And what you smell is your own feces in the toilet. Okay? You smell your upper lip. Take care of that. Okay? Now, you're trying your damnedest to win their affection. Kind of like what Saunders did. And the thing is, you, Saunders, and Jeremy Warren have something in common. You all crave for their attention. Michael Saunders was a paralegal that I had used. The minute he got threatened by them, he threw me under the bus, because they were going to go ahead and call him a sodomite, and they were going to put a bunch of listings on Craigslist about him, calling him a sodomite. And so he turned on me because of that. Okay? So, yeah, you're in the same comparative. You're both pieces of shit. You're both Benedict Arnolds, and you're both useless. Yeah, you're both useless pieces of shit, in so many words. Now, let me say a few more things. Mr. Eugene, you are also a pathetic individual. Spending hours and hours and hours studying me. Did you masturbate to me? Huh? Spending hours and hours masturbating. Let me tell you something. You and your daddy issues, and daddy didn't datify you, and daddy was a narcissistic person. Hey, don't be accusing me for what your daddy didn't do. Your daddy didn't datify you, and you got some mental issues because of that, and you're extremely mad because you got a Napoleon complex going on, you little runt. And did you show your face? No, you showed your shades. You didn't show your face. You're just a little snivering, snot-nosed little punk. And if I saw you, I would call you a punk and then probably kick you like a Nerf football through the uprights. Because you wouldn't know anything about the uprights, because you probably don't know a damn thing about football. You probably don't know a damn thing. You probably never played sports. You're a POS. POS, you're a little runt. And, because I showed my face to you, then why don't you talk to me? Talk to me, Gigi. Oh, why don't you talk to me, Gigi? I don't talk to people that don't show their face. Get a full picture of your face. Pay me for my time, and I'll grant you an interview. You pay me to do the interview. You do it on my terms. I do the interview, or I do the handling of the production, and you pay me for it, and I'll consider maybe doing an interview. But more likely and more or less, it'll probably be a cold day in hell. Cold day in hell. And so, because you have daddy issues, oh, boo-hoo, I got daddy issues. You got daddy issues. So now you're comparing me to your daddy. Maybe your daddy should have kept it on. Maybe he should have used a rubber when he went into that whorish mother of yours. Maybe when he went into that whorish mother's vagina area, he should have used a rubber. Then we wouldn't have this discussion, and yet you wouldn't be a subject so many years later of discussion. You wouldn't be a topic of discussion if daddy used rubbers. Rubbers. Your daddy should have used one. Okay? And again, I don't talk to people that don't show their face and don't show their true identity. I don't talk to miscellaneous John Does. Show your face, pay me for my time, and then we'll talk. I'll show your full face. I don't talk to John Does and phantom people. Okay? And whoever this, I will recant something. When I first heard, and I got puberty boy or this lady mixed up with another lady that actually sounds like a little boy. That's Mercil or Musel or Mucinex, whatever the fuck that person's name was, talking about Acer Thorn or Acer Thorn. There was another, I don't know if it was a man or a woman. I got the two confused because the first time I heard this woman, it was actually the other woman that did the other podcast named Merca or Mucinex. It sounds, so that's where I connected it to be puber boy or puberty boy by that. And when I actually heard this other woman talk, I could tell it was two different people. So that's where that came from. And to this person that calls herself meth, you know what I would love for you to do? Why don't you take a cage and put it around your face, okay? Make sure there's enough room when you put that cage around your head, and then take a rat. Take a rat, stick it in the cage. Matter of fact, take 2 rats and stick it in the cage. Seal up the bottom of that bird cage and let that rat go to town on your face and eat your flesh, and eat that disgusting face of yours right off. Woman, you don't know anything about me, so shut your mouth, okay? Whoever you are. You don't know me, know nothing about me. You wish you could be with me. You wish you could ride Space Mountain. So, you wish you could ride Space Mountain, so what you need to do, again, put your head in a bird cage, get a rat, get 2 rats, and have them nibble on your flesh, and maybe they can do away with the insignificant garbage that we're hearing years later. Take that and eat it up. Eat that face up. Eat that face up and gnaw it up. Because I don't give a damn what you think. I don't give a damn with what you have to say. And again, Eugene, go see a shrink. Go see a shrink. And maybe your daddy issues will be resolved. Maybe you could rub dongs with your daddy, and your daddy and you could be reunited. Reunited, and it feels so good. All right, I've been drinking a little bit tonight myself here, so you got to excuse me, because I can sing a whole lot better than that. But anyway, reunited as we understood. There's one special daddy, and I have my daddy. All I want to do is rub my dong. And with your daddy. And buttholes. What are you talking about, Eugene? You take a straw and you slurp it out the butthole, don't you? You take a straw and you slurp it out like a Slurpee out of a butthole, don't you? We know what your tendencies are. Why don't you go ahead and invite Roger to come to your place in Michigan? Because we know you gave me a false information from Florida. You're not from Florida, Eugene. Eugene, you're from Michigan. So why don't you go ahead and invite Roger up there, and maybe you all can venture off to a good treat, a good little dinner together, and you all can have a little, roast marshmallows and talk about, who the bottom and who the top could be. And goddamn, man, get that little brat kid away from the podcast. Take that kid and put that kid to bed. If you're going to do a podcast on the weekends, take the kid and put the kid in the bed. And we don't want to hear that snot-nosed little kid making a lot of noise. Yeah, I said snot-nosed. And your wife, who, I can't imagine, I mean, she's probably, I don't know. Your wife sounds very rough. Maybe you could need to take your wife and your kid and put them in the closet when you're doing a podcast, so we don't have to hear that extra noise in the back. Because when you do it, you're unprofessional. We don't want to hear a kid yelling and screaming in the back. Is it the daycare center you're running when you're doing a podcast? If you're going to do a professional podcast, you don't have a kid running around in the back, or a woman moaning in the back for your, whatever. Dude, you're a joke. You're a joke. And Roger Kohler, you're a joke too. And the rest of you all, you're jokes as well. Just don't think I'm sitting around peeling onions. Don't think I'm sitting around. I know what's going on. When I drop the hammer, baby, I'm dropping the hammer. And that's the bottom line.